Threads of Destiny. Chapter 1. The Weaving of Fate. In the quaint village of Eldoria, nestled between towering mountains and verdant forests, lived a young girl named Elena. Known for her vibrant auburn hair and emerald green eyes, she had always felt an inexplicable connection to the world around her. Ellen's grandmother, a wise woman revered by villagers, was often found weaving colorful tapestries that told the stories of their ancestors. One evening, while Elena watched her grandmother work, she noticed a peculiar tapestry in the corner of the room. One that had never been finished. It depicted a series of intertwining threads in shades of gold, silver, and deep blue. As she examined it closely, her grandmother whispered, "You have a special destiny, my dear. These threads represent the paths of our lives, and yours will soon intertwine with many others." Chapter 2. The Whispering Woods. The next day, curiosity led Elena to the Whispering Woods, a mystical forest said, to be alive with the spirits of nature. As she wandered deeper, she heard the soft sound of laughter and tried to follow it. To her astonishment, she stumbled upon a gathering of ethereal beings, the fairies of fate. They were playful, weaving golden strands of light, their delicate wings shimmering like diamonds. "Welcome, Elena," chirped Leora, the leader of the fairies. "We have been waiting for you. You are destined to be a weaver of fate, just like your grandmother." Elena felt a rush of excitement and apprehension. "What does that mean?" "You will discover the power of the threads. But be warned, with great power comes great responsibility," Leora replied, her eyes glinting with mischief. Chapter 3. The First Thread. As days turned into weeks, Elena began to train with the fairies, learning about the threads of destiny. Each thread represented choices, emotions, and connections among people. Under Leora's guidance, Elena discovered her first thread, one that vibrated with hope. One day she met a boy named Kai in the village who was struggling to find his purpose. Sensing his turmoil, Elena reached out to him, weaving the thread of hope to inspire him. Miraculously, Kai began to flourish, finding his passion for painting, and their friendship blossomed. However, every thread pulled sparked ripples throughout Eldoria, and Elena realized that she must tread carefully. Chapter 4. The Darkening Thread. As Elena deepened her understanding of destiny, a new thread darkened her tapestry. It belonged to a stranger named Mara, who harbored resentment and jealousy. Despite warnings from Leora, Elena was drawn to her pain. She tried to weave compassion into Mara's life, hoping to heal her bitterness. Instead, the thread twisted dangerously, leading Mara to embrace her envy and seek power at any cost. She found a way to darken the forests, casting a shadow over Eldoria. The village fell into despair as crops withered and the rivers ran dry. Elena felt the weight of her actions pressing down on her. She realized that not every thread could be mended simply by weaving light into darkness. Chapter 5. The Gathering Storm. Desperate to reverse the damage, Elena gathered her courage and sought the wisdom of the elders of Eldoria. They revealed an ancient prophecy: only when the weaver confronts her greatest fear can the darkness be dispelled. Elena knew that her greatest fear was failing those she cared about. Summoning her strength, she ventured into Mara's lair, a haunted glade shadowed by twisted trees. As she faced Mara, she felt the pull of the dark thread trying to ensnare her. "You think you can save me?" Mara sneered, her voice echoing with venom. I believe in you, Mara, Elena replied, her voice steady despite the fear gripping her heart. You are stronger than this. Darkness. Chapter 6. The Ties That Bind. With determination, Elena reached for the dark thread, weaving it with the light of understanding and empathy. As she did, she felt the tug of Maris's pain and bitterness, a feeling of loneliness that had haunted her for years. Suddenly, threads began to intertwine, memories of love and kindness flashing between them. Mara faltered, the shadows around her, quaking. Why would you care? She gasped, taken aback. Because every thread matters, Elena replied, tears in her eyes. In that moment of vulnerability, Mara's walls began to crumble, and she, too, began to weave her own thread of redemption. Chapter 7. The Restoration. As light returned to the glade, the dark cloud lifted from Eldoria. The trees unfurled, their leaves, flowers bloomed, and water flowed freely once more. The villagers rejoiced, and Elena felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Mara, now a trusted ally, had transformed and sought to make amends. Together they returned to the Whispering Woods where Leora and the fairies awaited them. You've not only mended a dark thread, Elena, but you have also forged a bond of friendship, Leora exclaimed, her voice laced with pride. Elena began to realize that weaving was not merely a responsibility. It was an intricate dance of connection and understanding. The power of destiny was not just about changing paths, but ensuring every thread contributed to the tapestry of life. Chapter 8. The Convergence of Paths. As time passed, more villagers sought out Elena and Mara, each with their own tangled threads of destiny. Elena became the village's weaver, a figure of hope and guidance. She trained others to understand their paths and the importance of their connections with one another. However, a stirring in the winds brought whispers of a powerful enchantress named Selene, who aimed to manipulate the threads of destiny for her own ends. News of her dark ambitions spread like wildfire, threatening the fragile balance Elena and Mara had worked so hard to restore. Determined to protect Eldoria, Elena, Mara, and Kai set out on a quest to confront Selene and restore harmony. Their journey took them through enchanted realms, ancient ruins, and enigmatic landscapes, each filled with challenges that tested their courage and unity. Chapter 9. The Shadow of Selene. After days of travel, they arrived at Selene's lair, a towering fortress cloaked in shadow. Inside, the air was thick with dread, and the walls pulsed with dark energy. As they navigated the labyrinthine corridors, they encountered illusions of their greatest fears, failures, betrayals, and heartaches. Elena's vision of failure loomed over her, but she reminded herself of the power of connection. We're stronger together, she assured her friends, and together they pressed forward. They finally faced Selene, a figure draped in shadows with piercing silver eyes. You dare challenge my dominion, she hissed, her voice echoing with malice. Chapter 10. The Final Confrontation. Your reign over destiny ends here. Selene, Elena declared, her voice strong, despite the swirling darkness. Weave your threads with kindness, not fear. Uninterested in compassion, Selene unleashed a torrent of dark magic aiming to ensnare Elena and her friends. However, together they wove a shield of hope, resilience, and friendship, pushing back against her dark power. In a climactic battle, they combined their strengths, intertwining their fates to combat Selene's darkness. Each thread They wove into their shield bolstered there, resolve, allowing them to push through the shadows until one final thread illuminated. The fortress! Enough! Celine screamed as Elena and her friends released the pure energy of their combined destinies. The burst of light broke through the darkness, enveloping Celine and unraveling her hold on the threads of fate. Chapter 11. Threads reborn. With Celine defeated, the shadows receded, and the fortress crumbled. Light flooded the land as the threads of destiny were restored. Elena, Mara, and Kai emerged victorious, their unity having triumphed over darkness. Returning to Eldoria, they were hailed as heroes. Villagers celebrated the power of connection and the beauty of their intertwined destinies. Elena learned that, while darkness exists, it is the light of understanding, compassion, and friendship that ultimately prevails. Chapter 12. The Ever-Weaving Tapestry. In the years that followed, Elena continued her grandmother's legacy, weaving not only physical tapestries but also helping others understand the importance of their choices and relationships. Eldoria thrived as a community bound by the understanding that their threads were part of an ever-evolving tapestry. Elena often returned to the Whispering Woods, where Leora and the fairies still resided. Together they continued to weave stories of hope and resilience, reminding everyone that the threads of fate are never static. They are alive, vibrant, and constantly in motion. And so, the tapestry of destiny continued to grow, weaving each heart and soul into its intricate design, ever reminding all who beheld it that they are not alone, and their threads are indelible, connected in the beautiful fabric of life.